So today is Storytelling Monday, and we're working with the story of Sita and Rama, one of the classic love stories in yogic literature. So this is a great love story. And for those of you that are just tuning in, we're starting in a lying down position this afternoon to cool down a little bit. It's our record temperatures out there, and we will be having quite a bit of movement this afternoon, so we might as well cool down to start. And today is Storytelling Monday, so we're going with the story of Sita and Rama today. And this is a great love story. Rama was a prince of the greatest kingdom on earth. And Sita was a princess who was born from the earth. And it was destined that these two unique individuals would end up together. Our movement today in class will be our own expression of true passion. And we're going to try to unite these two lovers under seemingly impossible circumstances. So to set us up for our class today, I'm going to invite you to think about the right side of your body. You can move up from your foot, up through your right leg, hip, the right side of your waist, your right shoulder, arm, your right hand. Even thinking of, your right collarbone, the right jawbone, your right eyebrow. And then seeing if you can encompass the entire right side in your awareness. In yoga philosophy and in a lot of other traditions, the right side of the body is associated with masculine energy. So in this case, Rama energy. You're just really feeling the right side of your body for a moment. And then deliberately shifting your awareness over to the left side of your body. So from the left foot, up through the leg and hip, the side of your waist, the left shoulder, arm, hand, the left collarbone, the left jawbone, the left eyebrow, the whole left side of your body now held in your awareness. And we often consider in yoga, the left side of the body is representative of feminine energy, or in our story today, Sita. Now is it possible while you're resting here, cooling on the floor, to feel both the right and left sides of the body simultaneously? So uniting the right and the left in your own mind. And already we've started the romance. We have begun uniting these seeming opposite sides. So from this position, you can have straight legs or bent knees, whatever your back is happiest with. Please draw your right knee into your chest. Hold on to it however it makes sense. And let your left leg stretch out. Let your left leg rest as heavily as you can to the earth. So when Sita, our princess, was born, her father received a horrible forecast from the local astrologer. It's a custom in India to have the stars cast for any auspicious birth or any important birth, even I guess people who don't have that many resources perhaps. And this particular astrologer forecast that her father was sure to be ruined by his daughter Sita. And so these forecasts are held with quite a bit of weight in India. So her father was in a panic, so he had her buried in a faraway field. Let's release the right leg and stretch out for a moment. Take a breath in and out. And then again, from either bent knees or straight legs, your choice, depending on how your back feels, please bring your left knee in towards your chest and hang on for a little while your right leg is allowed to be heavy into the earth. So poor Sita, banished, buried deep within the earth. And Janaka, a ruler from another kingdom, discovers this little girl. And thus she is born from the earth. So for this last couple breaths in Knee to Chest Pose, you might be experiencing yourself grounded into earth. Let's bend the right knee. So now both knees are bent, and you can take your hands to your knees and begin circling your knees around. So the knees can do the same thing, or they can do separate circles. However you go into Mandalasana is your choice. And as you slowly breathe in and breathe out, circling your knees around, think about how all stories come full circle. Make sure you do your circles in both directions. And then you can rest your feet back down on the floor. And when you're ready, roll over onto your side and press up from the floor, and we'll make our way to mountain pose, please. So come to a standing position. So when Sita reached adulthood, her father organized a special party or contest. And this was common amongst nobility of the day. And this was to select whom Sita might marry. She would marry the person who would be able to string the sacred bow, the bow of the god Shiva. Janaka knew that the bow of Shiva was not even liftable, let alone stringable for ordinary mortals. And for selfish people, it was not even approachable. Thus, the father tried to find the best groom he could for Sita. So for mountain pose, please turn to the side of your mat and open your legs fairly wide apart from each other. I'm going to do a little bit of work in warrior too. So let's just imagine that we're a warrior and we're going to come to this special contest, and we're going to try to compete for Sita's hand. We're going to try to prove that we're worthy. Take the right leg, turn the right leg bone out, bend the knee, and open the arms up. So this is classic warrior two. Let's move a little bit with this. So as you inhale, straighten the leg, lift up, and exhale, bring your strength and open up into that strength. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, move into your strength. So this would be a very slow, conscientious movement as the warrior prepared to try to bend Shiva's bow. You can imagine the crisis of confidence you might have, knowing you'd be competing against all the strongest and youngest out there. When you're ready, we can hold the warrior two for a couple breaths. Looking down that right middle finger, gathering your resources and your concentration. And then releasing warrior two, turning the legs parallel, pausing for a moment. And then turning the left leg bone outward, bending the left knee, and coming into the warrior two on the other side. Again, slow, mindful movements, inhaling and exhaling, feeling your power. So imagine that you were one of the suitors preparing to go and work out how you're going to bend or even lift Shiva's bow. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time. Slow, rhythmic breath, slow, focused movements, gathering your resources. You don't want to burn out before you get to the big finish. A couple nice deep breaths here in warrior two. When you're ready, pull up out of warrior two, straighten the front knee, bring your feet parallel. If you know that bending all the way forward is going to be a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can have blocks in front of you, or you could bring your chair around and have the chair seat in front of you. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale here. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come all the way forward into your forward fold. Hands on blocks, the floor, or using a chair to support you. Now, at this time, Rama and his brother had come into the forest. They were going to come in to have a special ceremony, a ritual. And they were looking for this protection that would come when they made this sacrifice. But they heard about this special contest. And so Rama decided he would like to participate. He goes to the palace of Janaka. And Janaka is greatly pleased to learn that Rama and his brother have arrived. I think their reputation preceded them. They were from the greatest kingdom on earth. Take 1 or 2 more deep breaths, relaxing towards the earth in this forward fold, finding the protection of earth, just like Rama was coming into the forest to find the protection of sacrifice. When you're ready to come up, take the hands to the hips. Inhale up halfway, pause. Exhale, gather the muscles in towards the body, lots of abdominal strength, and then inhale the rest of the way up. Step your feet together and come to the front of your mat, preparing for Warrior One. So for Mountain Pose, drop your right leg back. Bring your whole foot to the ground. So your foot's out on a little bit of an angle. The whole foot is to the ground, and the front knee bends. So we're coming into Warrior One. Let's do a version of Warrior One that might help us illustrate a little bit of what's going to happen next to the story. So as you inhale, come into Warrior One. Exhale, come forward and break the bow, I'm giving away the story a little bit, over your front leg. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bend the front knee, break the bow over your leg. Move back and forth like that a couple times. So now the next morning, in the middle of this ceremony, in this big hall, Rama lifts the bow of Shiva up with his left hand, fastens the string taut, and breaks the bow in half with hardly any effort at all. So in our Warrior One today, we're breaking the bow over our front leg. 1 more breath like that. The next time you inhale, let's hold our Warrior One position. So press deeply into the right foot. Feel the security of the earth under your right foot. Left knee is bent, knee right over top of the ankle, and we're reaching confidently into whatever comes next. So we're lifting the arms, we're lifting the chest. We're doing our Rama impersonation here, confident, strong, ready to win the heart of Sita. 1 more breath. And then releasing back into Mountain Pose. Just taking a moment to let everything come back into symmetry after that work. And then let's step the left leg back. We'll find the Warrior One on this side. And then move into the story. You're acting out the story with your body. Inhaling and then exhaling, breaking the bow. So many warriors had been trying to even bend the bow, but no success. And therefore, when Rama was able to break the bow with one hand, really, he fulfilled the father's request and turned to Sita. And for Sita, it was love at first sight. So when you're ready to inhale this time, let's come up into the Warrior One, holding the posture. And you could imagine here's Rama. He's won the contest. The beautiful princess has fallen in love with him at first sight, and he's standing in victory. Take a couple more breaths, doing your impersonation of Rama in this moment. And then when you're ready, releasing back into Mountain Pose. We're going to do a couple sun salutations now. Do you remember that I mentioned at the beginning that the right side of the body is associated with male energy and the left side with female energy? When we use sun salutations, or a flow similar to that, we weave together right and left. We bring them into balance. And we will use the sun salutation, it's an adaptation really of the flow, to help us marry the Rama and Sita energy. I'm going to use a chair. If you prefer to be closer to the ground, if you can do lunge pose with no problems, if you can do, knees on the ground with no problem, then you don't need to use a chair. But I'll just have this here just in case someone else feels they don't want to put their knees on the ground today. So let's come to the front of the mat in mountain pose. We can take the right and left hand together at the heart. This really kind of signals that joining of the masculine and feminine energy, the marriage of Rama and Sita. And then when you're ready, let's inhale, reach to the sun. Exhale, forward fold, reach to the earth. Inhale, lift halfway up, chest coming through the arms. Exhale, take your right leg back into lunge. Inhale, lift one or both arms up. And exhale, step back into your downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out in downward facing dog. My knees are bent a little bit here. And when you're ready to inhale again, let's bring the right foot forward into lunge. Make sure that your knee ends up exactly over top of the ankle. On your next inhale, you can lift one or both hands up. Exhale, come forward into forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's do the same flow, but lead with the left leg. So we're bringing balance. We're bringing that marriage together. Hands at the heart. The intention to join seemingly opposite things. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, chest pulls through the arms. Exhale, step the left leg back into lunge. Inhale, one or both arms could lift up from the chair. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out here, lengthening the back. Lots of space for the romance to bloom. Inhale, step your left leg forward into lunge. We want to make sure that the knee stays over top of the ankle. On your next inhale, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Stopping for a moment. If you're practicing somewhere where there's not the blessing of air conditioning, or if you've had a very taxing day because of the extreme heat, you might want to sit the next round out. The chairs here that I could use if I needed to, or you might want to go right to Shavasana, which is fine. Let's shift the flow up a little bit. When you're ready, hands to the heart, joining of the opposites, marrying of the male and female energy. Inhale, lifting tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, reach it forward of the arms. And exhale, step the right leg back. This time, little variation. Move your right hand a bit more center in the mat or on your chair. And take your left arm and wrap it around behind your back. Inhale, stretch the chest forward. Exhale, gather the belly muscles in and twist your chest towards the left. Inhale and exhale. One more breath like that. Inhale, if you really feel you want to lift your arms up for lunge, you can. Exhale, back to our downward facing dog. Long spine, breath in and out. On your next inhale, bring the right leg forward into lunge. We'll come into the twist on this side as well, knee directly over top of the ankle. So we're going to move the left hand a bit more center in the mat or on the blanket of the chair. Right hand to the sacrum. Inhale, stretch the spine towards the top edge of your mat. Exhale, belly muscles come in as you twist the chest. Moving back and forth a couple more times. Slow, deliberate, aware movements. Rama didn't win Sita with a lot of bravado and loud noise. If you need a little bit more lift, you can take it here on the inhale, exhale, forward fold, and inhale all the way up. Hands to the heart. Taking breaks whenever you need to. We don't want to be pushing so hard that we get overheated, too much male energy. We want a balanced romance here. Let's go for one more variation. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then as you exhale, drop the left leg back into lunge. Inhale, lift if you can, up with your arms. And as you exhale, lean to the side a little bit, really opening the left side of your trunk. Inhale, come back up to center, and exhale, half moon stretch. Now, if this is a little bit difficult because of balance, just keep one hand down on the chair and see if you can achieve that stretch on its own. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Long spine, long, deep breath. When you're ready to inhale the next time, step the left foot forward. Find the lunge. We do the half moon variation on this side too. So inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, lean out to the left this time. And remember, you can keep a hand on the chair for balance if you need that. The idea is really to open up the right side of the trunk this time. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, step forward into forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. If you're using a chair, you could always turn around and sit on the chair for a moment. Otherwise, we can just take mountain pose as our bodies and minds and spirits absorb all that we have been learning from that sequence. Okay, the next posture, again, involves putting your knee on the ground. So if that's not comfortable, you want to use a chair and do the lunge from the chair. I'll demonstrate on the ground. I'm going to turn my computer just a little bit so you can see a bit better. But know that you can do the same lunge as I was demonstrating a moment ago if knees on ground doesn't work. I like to have some padding for my knees. I'm working on a hardwood floor. So from the front of the mat, let's take an inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold, and take your left leg all the way to the back of the mat. So you can have the knee on the ground as I'm doing, or you can do the lunge I did earlier with the chair. We're coming into a revolved lunge here, and we might hold it for a little bit. It fits in with our story now. So you can do the same version of the lunge that we did when we were using in the sun salutation flow. And if you're using the chair, that maybe makes the most sense to hold here. If you have a little bit more range of motion today and you're more comfortable, you can do a lunge something like this, or you can drop your elbow across the front knee, hands in front of the heart. And the final thing that you could do if you wanted to is lift and straighten up that back knee. So wherever you find yourself is just fine. You want to try to find a place where you can be with some nice even breathing. Not getting too overheated, finding that perfect blend, that perfect romance. So Rama and his brother went to live with his father, where in time Rama would inherit the kingdom. However, one of his stepmothers, and the stepmothers always get in trouble, don't they? She had a maid who was addicted to stirring up trouble in her household. So as you come into this revolved lunge, take a few deep breaths and really stir things up in your middle. One more breath here in your revolved lunge. And then let's release this and step back into downward facing dog. So now you come back into symmetry. Just noticing how it's nice to have that balance. It's nice to have that openness again. So we've got this maid who's stirring up trouble with this poor stepmother. Let's step your left foot forward. So we'll find that same posture on the other side. So your knee might be down. You might be using the chair. Either way. Finding the rotated lunge like you did on the other side. So the consort liked Rama, and she found Sita to be quite sweet. But the maid convinced her that her son, not Rama, but her own son, should be the king. Why would another woman's son be king? Your son should be king, said the maid. So the stepmother used her wiles on the old king, and the old king decided to banish Rama to the forest. So a couple deep breaths as you're twisted over here towards the left, just stirring things up, like that maid stirred up trouble in an otherwise peaceful castle. And then when you're ready, you can release the twist, bring your back foot forward, take a big exhale and forward fold. And then come on up to mountain pose. Taking your breath in and out. And then we have a lot of different options for this next posture. We come into eagle pose. That might help us to really express the theme of the next chapter of this story. So let me show you a few things you could be doing. Because it's so hot, maybe you don't want to do the regular version of eagle pose today. So you could be doing chair pose with a chair today, because that's where we're going to start. So if you're very comfortable in chair pose, you've practiced it for a long time, you don't have to use a chair with me, but you may choose to. We can keep the hands at the hips initially. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift our hips up from the chair, or come into chair pose from mountain pose. And as you exhale, either stand up or release chair pose into seated mountain pose. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, releasing. And try that one more time. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale. So you can keep that. And then when we come into eagle pose, if you choose to use the chair, you might just cross your legs. Can't really see my ankles here, but cross your legs like this while we're doing arm things. So you don't have to be standing in chair pose if that's too much on a record hot day. For those of you who are a little bit more comfortable and you were doing full chair pose as you inhale, you might want to stay standing for this part. So I'm going to once again angle my computer slightly different so you can see a little bit more of my arms. So let's add the upper body. You can be doing this from seated in a chair or from standing on your feet. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, give yourself a deep hug with the right arm on the bottom. Inhale, expand your whole upper back. And exhale, relax. Let's do that the other side. Inhale. Exhale, left arm on the bottom. Inhale, expand the upper back. And exhale, relax. Okay, I think we're kind of warmed up now to come into eagle pose. So from your seated mountain pose or your standing mountain pose, inhale into chair. Exhale, drop the buttocks either to the chair or just back a little bit. As you inhale, open the arms. Exhale, deep breath with the right arm on the bottom. Inhale, expand the upper back. Exhale, release the hands, keep the arms crossed and come into eagle arms. So you might be just touching the backs of the hands or hooking a finger or coming right around. You can stay here if you want a little bit more to this posture. Take the right leg, lift it up, cross it over the left leg. And another thing that could happen, but this yoga teacher can't demonstrate it, is your right foot hooking behind the left calf. I don't have those bones. So holding on to your eagle pose for 2 or 3 more breaths. You could be seated in your chair or standing on one leg. or any variation in between. Take a deep, focused breath. And on your next inhale, unwrap the legs, unwrap the arms, and find mountain pose. Okay. Why are we talking about eagle pose? Well, the lovers were enjoying their forest home one day, even though they'd been banished. And Rama, to please his bride, had gone hunting a beautiful golden deer. So let's be eagles so that we can see the forest and try to help Rama hunt for this deer. So when you're ready, we'll come into your chair pose. Inhale into chair pose. As you exhale, you either sit back down on the chair or sit your bum down a little lower. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, wrap around, left arm on the bottom. Inhale, expand the upper back. Exhale, find your eagle wrap of your arms. You can also take the left leg, and cross it over the right and finding your balance. So holding your eagle pose, you could be seated in a chair here, that would be fine. Little did the young people know that an evil demon king had conjured up the vision just to distract Rama. So there was really no golden deer. It was just an illusion to distract Rama. So as an eagle, see clearly what's going on in your environment now. Take one more breath. Don't let anything distract you, even an evil demon king. And then inhale, release, and come back to mountain pose. Take a breath in and out. And then let's turn to the side of your mat again. You're turning to the long edge of your mat. Come into Devyasana. So turn the feet so they're kind of on 45-degree angles or something like that. Heels closer in, big toes further apart. And when you bend the knees, if you look, I have to change the angle of my feet. The thigh bone draws a line in the same direction as the toes. So you might have to dial your feet a little bit. And when you bend the knees, you don't want to bend them so far that the knee is out past the ankle. Stop when the knee is over top of the ankle. So it doesn't have to be a super deep knee bend. So just get the angle of that and get it comfortable. And then when you're ready, we're going to really see if we can find the power of the feminine here, because now Sita becomes a bit of the star of the story. I mean, Rama got to break the bow and everybody did warrior for him. Now we're going to do Devyasana to celebrate how strong Sita was when her challenge came. So this incorporates a bit of lion breath. If you've never done that before, you're allowed to be kind of silly and make a little noise. And it looks like this. You breathe in through the nose, and then you kind of roar like a lion. In traditional Indian practice, you actually cross your eyes when you do this. So if you have the capability of crossing your eyes while you do your lion, it's good. So when you're ready, we're going to use Devyasana and the lion breath to truly express the deepest power of the feminine. You ready? Let's inhale like this. And then inhale up. And keep moving a couple more times in and out of Devyasana. So when Rama was off hunting that imaginary golden deer, along came an evil king named Ravana, and he was disguised as a sick old man. He fooled the tender-hearted Sita into helping him just so he could kidnap her. And it was with evil intent, I'm afraid. And then when you're ready, please come to mountain pose at the front of your mat. Ravana demanded that Sita give in to his desires, but Sita remained absolutely faithful to Rama. Ravana, the evil king, became more and more frustrated, more and more demanding, making more and more frightening threats. Whatever was going to happen to poor Sita. We're now going to move into a lunge pose that we might hold for a little while. If you know you don't like to wait there on your knee, what you can do is you can take one leg back, like we did in Warrior One a little bit before. So take the right leg back, and you can just work with a chair in front of you or blocks and work like this. So straightening that front knee, and you're working towards the flexibility that might help you get into the deeper lunge at some point in time. So there's the alternative. For those of us who are more comfortable weight bearing on the knee, I highly recommend the blanket, of course. Let's come to mountain pose. Take the hands together at the heart, reminding us that we're working on a harmonious blending, a beautiful romance here. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, soften and bend forward. Inhale, come halfway up. And exhale, let's take the right leg back. Drop the knee to the ground so that we're in lunge pose. So you have the other alternative if you don't want your knee on the ground. Now, many of us will benefit from some blocks under our hands if getting your hands to the floor is difficult. You feel like you're too compressed here. I'm going to wiggle my front foot a little bit forward here on the ground. It just feels like I've got some space to do that. If you're standing, you might not have the space to do that. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, let your hips drop forward, your chest lift. As you exhale, pull up the toes, stretch the calf, and pull back. Inhale forward, and exhale, pull back. So remember that there's that alternative if you don't want your knee on the ground. Moving back and forth a few more breaths, preparing to hold the posture. And this is a preparatory posture for Hanumanasana. Hanuman was the subject of one of our earlier storytelling days, and he's the monkey guy. Let's talk about why we're doing Hanumanasana now. At some point, you can keep moving, but at some point, you might be able to stay with your body folded over your straight right leg and really working out as much of the tension at the back of the leg as you can. Take a couple more breaths here. And then let's step back into either down dog, if you're using a chair, down dog works really well here, or prayer pose or child's pose if your knees are already on the ground. We'll take a break between sides. That's a pretty deep posture. So Rama had no idea where Sita was when he got back. He was frantic. And when he was at his most desperate, Hanuman appeared. You may recall him from earlier stories. This fellow has a monkey head, and he represents devotion, loyalty, and he has many superpowers. When you're ready, if you've been in child's pose or prayer pose, please come to hands and knees. And then let's bring the other foot forward, the left foot forward lunge. And repeat your Hanumanasana preparation on this side. So your hands might be on a chair, if you're using the chair, your hands might be on blocks or on the ground. So Hanuman can leap oceans in a single bound. He can change size at will, and he's a fierce warrior, leader of the whole monkey army. So with Hanuman and his army at his side, Rama attacked the evil demon king, and after a fierce battle, he wins the day. So you might be prepared now to hold the stretch. Your left leg will be more or less straight, your body folding in that direction. Left toes pulling back towards the left shin. And you can see this position is kind of like Hanuman's getting ready to leap across that ocean. He's ready to take that leap of devotion to bring the two lovers back together. Take one more breath. And then let's take our neutralizing pose, which could be down dog if you're using your chair, or child's pose or prayer pose if you're closer to the ground. Taking a breath in and out. getting ready to come to camel pose. So I like to use a block when I do camel pose. And there's also a version of this for those friends who don't care to weight bear on the knees, because it's normally done on the knees. So you can follow the exact same instructions by using a block between the back of your chair and your body, and that will give you the lift in the chest. And other than that, follow the exact same instructions as we're about to have for this camel pose. So the block between the knees can be most helpful just to kind of get us internally rotating the thigh bones here and really helping us to stay grounded into the legs. And that goes for people in the chair as well. So we're going to do a little bit of a version of Ustrasana or camel pose now that involves one arm at a time. So you can take your hands to your sacrum. If you're using the chair, just hold on to the sides of the chair, palms facing away from you if you're in my position. And then when you're ready, inhale up, extending long through one side of the body, and exhale, bring your hands back where you were. Inhale the other side, all the way up. Exhale, come back to where you were. And then inhale both arms, extending long, pushing down through your legs, up through your chest, and come back to where you were. So repeating that sequence a couple more times. Not only was Sita very happy to see her man, but all the worlds rejoiced that they were liberated from the tyranny of that horrible king, Ravana. After you've completed that whole series 3 times, come back to the camel pose and perhaps hold for a moment. If you want a little bit deeper experience, you could drop your hands back to your heels or to blocks. Just try to keep yourself square to the front of your mat as you drop back. Feel the lift of your heart as you celebrate the liberation from the tyranny of that evil king and the reuniting of the lovers. Last breath in. And as you exhale, release the posture. Please just come to a normal seat in the chair or just to thunderbolt pose. Take a breath in and out. Now, if my friends are using chairs, just demonstrate briefly how to join us for this next posture. Shift forward in the chair, keep your right leg bent, and stick your left leg out like this. So your left leg's out, foot's on the ground. For those of you who have not been using the chair, from your camel pose or from your thunderbolt pose, we were just here, rise up and take the left leg out to the side, weight bear on the right shin. Make sure you press the full left foot into the floor and keep the right hip aligned with the right knee. Inhale, lift up through the right arm, and exhale, lean out to the side. So we're imitating a gate here. This is actually called gate pose in yoga. Do the best to keep your gait on its hinges, meaning that pull back a little bit in the right shoulder blade so your gait is square to the rest of your fence. Take a couple deep breaths. And then inhale up, exhale, release, bring knees together. So you're either seated on a chair at this point or standing on your shins. And then when you're ready to move to the other side, extend the right leg out and move into gate pose on the other side. So the reason we've chosen gate pose to fit in here is because now Rama and Sita are reunited. They've come through the gate of harmony. They've come through the gate of romance. of balance, of unity, of integration. So all the beings of all the worlds danced to celebrate the triumph of love over evil. When you're ready, we'll release. And my suggestion is to come down to a comfortable seat. So I usually like to use a bit of a blanket underneath my tushy so that I have the proper angle with my spine. So if you sit on the edge of your blanket with your legs stretched straight out in front of you, hopefully you notice that your hip bones are higher than your knees. So there's some elevation here. And if you take your hands to your low back, there's a little bit of an in curve in the low back. So you can maintain a neutral spine. Your knees can be quite bent in this forward fold. You don't have to have the legs perfectly straight. And when you're ready, let's inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, angle at the hips, reaching towards the end of your mat. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, angle forward. So this is a symmetrical pose where every part of your body is really involved in this pose. It's not a stretch for just one thing. It's a pose that all areas of your body come to the wedding. They come to the romance. Now, after you've done this for a few times, if you feel like you want to hold in stillness, you want to meditate on all this, that's fine. Your hands don't have to touch your feet. They can be anywhere on the floor, relaxing into the forward fold. If you feel more comfortable continuing to move, then of course that's what you'll do. And when you come into the stretch, like I said, this is a harmonizing of the entire body. See if you can feel an equal amount of sensation from the heels, up the backs of your legs, through the buttocks, the low back, shoulders, right to really the crown of your head. Everything is equally massaged with the breath moving through the body in this forward fold. Everything is equally massaged. And after all the epic adventures that Rama and Sita had in our story, it's nice to find a still, restful place. A place where our young lovers can hunker down and get on with the happily ever after part. I'll just take a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly lifting up or forward fold, and making your way over onto your back. My suggestion here is you come into a supine twist. So you can choose your favorite version. Maybe you just want to lay on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor, and as you exhale, drop your knees towards the right. And as you inhale, bring your knees up to center. And exhale, drop the knees over to the left. And move back and forth like that. Or maybe you want to fold. Let your legs drop to one side and just rest there for a few breaths. And if you've been holding your legs to one side, you could gradually make your way into resting on the other side. Last breath here. And slowly coming back to center. If there's any other movements that your body is calling for right now, any other stretches we didn't get to. Otherwise, let's adjust our bodies into Shavasana. So you can go with a real bare bones Shavasana today. If you need some propping, of course, take it. But I thought maybe if we could be as natural as possible in these crazy times towards the ground, we could play a little bit more with this marriage of right and left and male-female energy. So adjusting yourself now so that you're comfortable, but really you're as neutrally aligned with the earth as is possible for this time. And then let's go back to thinking about the right side of your body. So let's go back to thinking about, say, the right eyeball, the right eyebrow, the right temple, the right ear, the right nostril, the right jawbone, right side of your tongue, the right side of your neck, your right collarbone, your right shoulder, right side of your chest, right upper arm, elbow, and lower arm. Thinking about your right wrist, the back of your hand, the palm of your hand, your right thumb, index finger and middle finger, ring finger, baby finger. Thinking about the right side of your rib cage, your right hip bone, your right thigh, knee, lower leg, your right ankle and heel, the top of your foot, the sole of your foot, all the toes on your right foot. And then like you were using a great big huge paintbrush with rainbow colored paint, can you move your awareness all the way up from your right toes, all the way up to the right side of your head? Whole right side of your body is colored with your awareness. And then on purpose, deliberately shift now to the left side of your body. Let's start with your left toes. Each one of your left toes, the sole of your left foot, top of your foot, the heel, the ankle, the lower leg, the knee, the upper leg, the hip, the side of your waist, the left armpit, the left shoulder, the upper arm, elbow, and lower arm, and wrist, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger, and baby finger. And feeling the left collarbone, left side of your neck, left jawbone, left side of your tongue, the left nostril, the left eyeball, the left eyebrow, the left temple, the left ear, And get out your big paintbrush and paint the whole left side of your body with your awareness. You can add some glitter if you like. And then thinking about the left side of your body as Sita energy, deliberately invite Rama to dance. So bring the rainbow colored paintbrush over to the right too, and have the whole body come together in this colorful, glittery celebration of marriage, of uniting, integration. Your whole body might be a little glittery now. And just for fun, focus your awareness, if you can, in on your nose. And the sensation of breath moving in and out through the nostrils. Do you sense that one nostril is more dominant over the other? Or is the marriage harmonious in this moment? Most of what we do in yoga class is designed to help us be a bit more harmonious. But of course, as in real marriage, in real life, two people can't be exactly equal all the time. Which is kind of seeing where your marriage is right now in your nose, in your body. And then just for our last minute here in Shavasana, expanding awareness back out to the whole body, feeling the glittery, rainbow colored energy dancing with every cell, celebrating love, celebrating passion and commitment once again. And if you have more time this afternoon to languish and really relish Shavasana, then please stay there. But if you need to move on to other things, you may slowly start to move towards a seated position. Once you get into an upright position, you could take your hands together at the heart again. Here's a gesture we used quite a bit in class today to really kind of bring this point home of marriage between these seeming opposites, finding that point of balance in between them. And I'm hoping these stories, like Sita and Rama, help us understand how it's worth putting a little effort out to find the middle ground, to find the integration. That's where the happily ever after comes in. When you're ready, you can inhale and share the sacred sound of Om.